Sign for you.
Thank you. The mic's on, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Here's-
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to call the meeting on July 2nd, 2025 to order for the Kent County Police Accountability Board. Seeing that everybody's present, we do have a quorum. Just a reminder, meetings are conducted in open session unless otherwise indicated. Portions of the Police Accountability Board meetings can be held in closed session under the authority of the Maryland Open Meetings Law and voted on by its members. Meetings are subject to audio and video recordings. Did everybody get a copy of last month's minutes? And vote on the incoming agenda.
On this agenda,
Okay. If for everybody, you have today's agenda, can I get a motion to accept the agenda?
Make a motion to accept the agenda.
Second? Second. All those in favor of accepting this agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the agenda has been accepted.
No, you started messing around at the same time.
Did everybody get a copy of last month's minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, can I get a motion to accept them?
Make a motion to accept.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Old business. I have nothing under old business. I am going to bring up, I'm going to bring up something under the PAB open discussion. It's more of a educational thing. Just a real quick blurb. Does anybody have anything under old business? Because I have nothing. New business?
Did we get those pamphlets printed?
Brochures.
Brochures?
They haven't been printed yet,
We
correct?
have not.
No, we're still trying to work out the layout of it.
Oh, okay.
It's forthcoming,
Okay,
and we'll look at it before the.
right, okay.
I'm going to make a note though. New business. I have nothing under new business, nothing at all. We have no, we have actually one case, the Accountability Board is waiting to receive, still in its review process by the agency. That's it. Does anybody else have anything under new business? Moving on to open discussion. So this, I'm bringing this up in case you're out and about in town and you hear something. The police chiefs, and their next in command below them, and the sheriff, and one right below the sheriff. If a citizen makes a complaint against them, does not fall under the purview of the Police Accountability Board. The way the law was set up, they're not in our jurisdiction to investigate. Just FYI.
If you'd like, I'll give you a 30-second reason why.
Please.
Yes.
The elected official, they're held accountable by the voters. And so if they act in a way that is incongruent with the goals and the mores of the district that they represent, then it is believed that they would then get voted out or impeached, or the governor can remove a sheriff. I don't believe the governor can remove a chief. I don't know that. I'd have to look that up. And the reason they're number two, now when we say they're number two, it's only if the number two is engaged in the activities of the sheriff. So in other words, the sheriff is allowed, or the chief is allowed, to have a number two who is them when they're not, when they're not doing their job. So the law, the state legislature, when they created the law, said we will not include in this. And just so you also know, a chief and a sheriff don't necessarily have to be a law enforcement officer.
Right.
That's not necessarily a requirement of their job, because they're really a manager of policy. Now, that overlaps a lot, but the legislature made their decision, and that was the reasoning behind it, that there is already an accountability mechanism for those folks that are in those roles.
What happens if you're out in public somewhere and you see the chief or the sheriff so drunk and he gets in his car and takes off? What do you do about that then?
I can't give advice.
So that's a matter for law enforcement, but not for the PAB, does that make sense?
No, I know that, but I mean, you said they can't be removed from their job.
It would be a.
So who do we report it to?
You-
The county commissioners or what?
You would handle it in a political mechanism. And if they violate it, in other words, and the other thing is that the state police have jurisdiction also. And
Okay.
so if a law enforcement officer, if you felt as though you were not getting, or wanted to report misuse or some type of behavioral issue, you could go to the state police and ask them to investigate.
Okay.
Well, the sheriff is elected, but the police chief isn't an elected
No, but the
official.
police chief is appointed by the elected officials. And so therefore, the legislature believes that there is a mechanism that, so example, if a chief was engaged in behavior that you didn't think was congruent with their position, you could then go to the elected officials of that particular municipality and make a complaint to them and say, hey, what's the deal? You hired this person. We think you need to show some managerial authority over that person. So that would be a mechanism.
Another issue is if there's an ethics issue, like I'm the chair of the Ethics Commission here for Chestertown, and the chief does fall under that purview. If there's an
That's
ethics
correct.
complaint, which can be filed, and it comes to our commission, then we can move forward and to investigate that.
So both the municipalities and the counties have ethic commissions that you can make complaints to also.
All right, moving on, does anybody else have anything for open discussion?
Is that clear on our website or the information we're passing out? That distinction, or doesn't it have to be?
It's not, but it's in the law, in the statute, but I don't know if that
I don't know
is
if it's
something
on
we
our
really want to
website
put
or
on
not,
there
no.
without having to post the
The
whole
law's on
thing.
the website, and it's in the law.
There you go. Yes.
There are a number of jurisdictional hurdles that you must overcome in order for the PAB to have jurisdiction over a particular complaint. So one of them is that it has to be within a certain time frame. Two, it has to have occurred, when the law was, by the time the law was made. It has to be of a law enforcement officer that is hired by a municipality or county within the jurisdiction of that PAB. So there's 4 or 5 hoops you have to go through for the PAB to have jurisdiction. So that's just one of them.
And I would just highlight, all of us are under county ethics law, just being members of this commission. And that's why we file those GIF financial statements. So that's something to just be aware of.
Right. All right. Anybody else have anything for open discussion? We have nobody here from the public to make a public comment, or anybody have any announcements to make?
I have an announcement to make. I was able to meet with the sheriff and with the chief of Rock Hall, just to review the law and jurisdictional issues and procedure with Barry this last week. And it went very well, just an informal, just dialogue, just to keep the door open and to continue to have a good working order and working relationship with them. The chief of the Chestertown was not able to make it for personnel reasons, but we hope to be able to do that soon.
All right. Next meeting is scheduled for August the 6th. Please, when you get your announcement from Frank, answer and let him know if you're in or out. So that way we're not guessing. That being said,
Tell you, I'll always be here unless I call you.
I can say, I'm gonna be out of the area.
okay,
I won't be back.
Okay.
To September.
just, but you still get those notices, right?
Yes.
Yeah, just
yes.
just respond back to sorry I had to come.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, get a motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Meeting's adjourned at 3:10 PM.